What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Retro Davo coming to you, and today I got a very special package in the mail that I have been waiting for about 6 months. What is it? Well, let's find out. I already know what this is. Let's see. A knife. Big thanks to Voultar for doing this for me. If that should give you guys any clues as to what this is. I see it's nicely packaged. Probably the same packaging I used. So at first glance, this might look like So, at first glance, this might look like a regular, ordinary PlayStation 1, but it's not. This is a modded PlayStation. This has two different mods on it. One, it has the PS1 digital, which allows HDMI out. But then also, it has the Xstation mod in it, which allows you to play the games from SD cards. Now there's one more thing that we have to do, and I did not send this particular piece of the mod to Voultar because I was more than capable of installing it myself. So, let's take a closer look. Alright, so got my screwdriver. We're going to open it up and we'll take the opportunity to take a look at the mod, but also to do the other part of the mod. This comes from Laser Bear Industries, and similar to how I had it installed in my Ultimate GameCube. This is the other piece of the mod. It is just a 3D printed SD card reader top, and it literally plugs into the Xstation where the SD card slot would go. It's literally just an extender. So, let's put that aside for the moment. Let's flip the PlayStation over, and let's take out the 6 screws. Okay, so now we have all the screws undone, so let's flip it right side up. So now, before we install the Laser Bear Industries thing, oh gee, thanks. Just leave me the piece of plastic. You can see here this is the Xstation. The PS1 digital is underneath, so I mean, if you really want to see it, I'll be glad to take it apart, but I would prefer, honestly, not to take it apart. There's plenty of reviews about the PS1 digital, including a marvelous job. You've seen him install it many times on Voultar's own YouTube channel. Once again, I'd highly suggest you go subscribe to Voultar. He shows you how to fix and mod all kinds of cool stuff, including this PlayStation. What we're gonna do is very simple. We're gonna install this. Now, I've never done this before, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I believe it just goes like this. I don't even think you necessarily need these other pieces. No, you don't. So first, we have to insert the SD card end in there. Do that. Gee, this is a brilliant design. Should be good enough. There we go. Just like that. Oops, I forgot. This piece back here fell out. The part that goes over the HDMI cable. Makes it look nice and pretty. Now let's put this back. See? Makes it look all nice. Almost like it's an actual thing, but it's not. And then, see? Makes it look all nice, and your SD card goes right in there. So, let me put the screws back in and then hook this up, and let's try out some games. Okay, so a couple things. One, I know you're probably thinking, gee, this guy intervenes for Xbox a lot, but here he is talking about PlayStation. I just want to clear up, I have nothing against your personal choice of platform. Secondly, I'm talking about a system that is no longer supported anymore. Sony doesn't even care about their heritage of games. So, there's a difference. But secondly, here's my little confession. I'm discovering PlayStation, at least classic PlayStation. I'm still discovering it because I never had a original PlayStation as a kid. I never had a Super Nintendo as a kid. My journey as a kid was, the first thing I ever played was the Atari 2600, and then I played a Nintendo Entertainment System, or the NES, and then I played the Sega Genesis, and then the N64, and then GameCube, Wii U, so on, so forth. I never experienced, back in the day, the PlayStation firsthand for myself. I did on various occasions, I knew what it was, but for some reason, always back in the day, it never appealed to me. Probably because I was like, whoa, is Super Mario on it? Or is Blaster Master on it? Little did I know that yes, Blaster Master was indeed on PlayStation, but that wasn't until like 2001. when the PlayStation 2 already came out. But yeah, I think that there is no harm in liking PlayStation and Xbox at the same time. Right now, I'm, in regards to current gen consoles, I am absolutely 100% going with Xbox. But right now, this is a video about, you know, the classic PlayStation. Xbox wasn't even a thing for almost 10 years, because I believe, yeah, Xbox didn't come out until like 2001, and the original PlayStation, I believe, was like 93, 94? Something along those lines? I'm not sure. I don't remember when this PlayStation first came out. I just know that it originally started as a collaboration between Sony and Nintendo, and then one day, they announced that they were partnering with Philips right in front of Sony as they were in the audience. And so Sony was like, well, we had this idea, let's run with it ourselves. And of course, we all know what came as a result of that confusion. We got a great console, the Sony PlayStation, even though I think it's a very flawed console. And we also got the Philips CDI, which was essentially a hunk of junk. But yeah, the PlayStation is actually the was originally started as an idea by Nintendo. It was going to be called, even the name comes from Nintendo, it was going to be called the Nintendo PlayStation, and it was going to be a CD add-on for your Super Nintendo, which is why I think, in many regards, with side-scrollers, why the graphics are very comparable to a Super Nintendo. And it also explains why, and although the Super Nintendo is behind the PlayStation technically, because it wasn't fully capable of 3D in the way in which the PlayStation is, the PlayStation was also, you know, not next gen, so to speak, when it came to the N64, which I believe was a year later. So the PlayStation came at a very odd time. It has a very weird thing called, I think, pixel warping, and that has to do, on a technical term, there's like nothing that can be done about that. It's just the way the PlayStation was built. But I remember the PlayStation was revolutionary for the time. It may look like a children's toy of games compared to today, but actually I have a very soft heart that for old style games, because not many people are producing games that you get on these consoles anymore, and I find that very sad. But normally, how you would hook up a PlayStation would be through, you know, anyone who even remembers back to the PlayStation 2 or the early days of the PlayStation 3, remember that it came with composite cables. And even though both the PS2 and the PS3 were capable of HD graphics, they didn't pack you in an HDMI cord or component cables. They packed in composite cables. And for a long time, I think the last system that was like a die-hard composite cable was the Wii. So composite lasted for a long time. So the original PlayStation naturally does not put out HD graphics, although it is built, it has the capabilities that when you mod it, you can get native resolutions. And I think that these games now look phenomenal in HD. They're looking as best as they're going to get. Like, there's no magic sauce that can, you know, take away how pixelated they look There's no magic sauce that can fix the, you know, texture warping. That's just the nature of the PlayStation. And the great thing about having this modded PlayStation now is I don't have to worry about, you know, the condition of the discs. I can feel good about, if I manage to find a PlayStation 1 disc and it's in meh condition, but they're offering a good price for it, I can just download a copy of the game. And people don't realize this. I've run into this myself. With old-fashioned PlayStation games, if the, and this goes true, I think, with Blu-rays and DVDs and any kind of disc-based media, the layer in which it reads is not the bottom of the disc. It is underneath the, what I call the film layer that is on top of the plastic, which is typically hidden underneath the label. And so, like, I'll show you right here. Here's a disc that I picked up of Frogger. There was also one of Tomb Raider that I had. And as you can see, someone sold it to me, and like half or a part of the film is gone. And some people might not know better, but that actually makes a huge difference, because now there's a portion of the game literally missing because the data is on the film that is missing. So that part of the game is not playable. But the great part about the Xstation is that you can put whatever games you want on an SD card. I put several that I don't physically own on an SD card, and I feel fine because, for one, these companies are not Nintendo. They really don't give a crap about their heritage. Like, for a great example, when they did Kingdom Hearts Remaster on PS4, they didn't have the original source code for all of it for the original Kingdom Hearts, and they had to rebuild a lot of it from scratch. So this is a great way not only for game preservation, but also, you know, you don't have to hunt down a copy of any game. And the discs of PlayStation, while I do see them everywhere, the ones that people really want to play are the ones that are getting harder to find or are really expensive. The ones you really come across are the sports games, and those are really, really cheap. But sometimes, if you're lucky, while you can find some for very reasonable prices, I just assume at this point to give up on original PlayStation discs and start just downloading the ISOs and putting them on this SD card. And that's exactly why I looked into the Xstation, because it allows me to do that. Just like with the GameCube, I no longer have to worry about, you know, $70, $80, $100 unless I want a physical copy. If it's a Nintendo game, absolutely I'm going to have a physical copy to back up my argument that, you know, I already own it and I'm just playing a backup. But with the Xstation, because it's PlayStation and other companies that don't really care about their heritage in these games much anymore, you can find them and just download them and put them on an SD card. And yes, I know you don't necessarily need hardware like I do, but some of us want to use real hardware, and if you want to use an emulator, go ahead. There's nothing stopping you from emulating. Emulation has come a long way since the original PlayStation launched. So, and the PS1 digital, that is really just for a smaller group than the Xstation, because it's the PS1 digital that, it's not even the cheapest road to go. I just really wanted it. But the PS1 digital is only able to work on certain, like a very few model PlayStation 1s, and the others, it's not able to use it with unless the person comes out with a new version, or it has to do with it needs something that they stripped out in later models. I don't know the details exactly, but any PlayStation pretty much can take the Xstation, and if you are looking into wanting to play original PlayStation, you can find a original PlayStation for next to nothing. It was a very, very successful system back in the day. You can pick an original PlayStation up for like, I don't know, if you're lucky, 20 bucks, 14 bucks. And I would encourage you to get one, get the Xstation at least. Put that in, and you won't have to worry about a library of games. Just put the extra money towards the Xstation, and you'll be good to go. I'm so thankful to Voultar for doing this for me. I had tried to do this before. I actually had to buy a second set of ribbon cables and a second original PlayStation because I fucked up the first one, and it's really hard for me to admit, and I just didn't know enough what I was doing, so I had to have someone do it for me. And so luckily Voultar was offering his services, and I will definitely, it's going to be a while before I can do business with you again, Voultar, but I definitely will when I have the money to get the mods and to, you know, pay to have them installed. I will definitely be hooking up with you again for more in the future. So folks, that is the ultimate original PlayStation. Now, you should note that the Xstation works on almost any model of the fat, not the slim, but the fat model PlayStation 1. However, the PS1 digital, which is what gives it the HDMI output, only works on like a few different models of the PlayStation 1. I actually went through several PlayStation 1s trying to get the correct model because people would lie on eBay about what model it was. So be careful out there which ones you buy. So look up the specifics. If you can't get one, the PS1 digital is the most expensive mod of the two. So if you have a retro tank, I would recommend you get a retro tank, hook the original PlayStation up to that, and that will give you HDMI. But then also put the Xstation in, because believe it or not, original PlayStation discs are getting hard to find, and you know, PlayStation doesn't give a crap about their heritage lately. So hope you enjoyed this video, and keep the history of games alive. Peace out, and once again, go subscribe to Voultar, and a big thank you to him for modding this for doing the mods for me. Take care.